Hey, business building warrior, welcome to Silent Sales Machine Radio. We are rapidly approaching one of the most exciting times of the year around here for our community. And that is, of course, when we all gather together in person. This year, it's going to be in Louisville, Kentucky, August 12th through 14th. You can still grab a ticket if you hear this, but the date's getting really close at this point. So there's a pretty good chance that for one reason or another, you won't be able to make it. So I'm going to go over the event schedule with you and not just read off a list of events. That would be boring. But I'm going to tell you what you're going to be learning in each of these sessions. Because remember, we're going to have live stream and video capture at our event. And something that makes this year more exciting than any other year that we've ever had this event. This is our 10th time, but we've got up to 6 and in some cases even 7 sessions happening at the exact same time, because we're going to have an audience of around 500 plus people there. It's looking like a bunch of great speakers and sponsors on top of that, teaching us in each of these breakout areas. So in our big main stage, which is where we'll start each day, we won't be using that room to gather all of us together all that frequently. It's going to be spread out all over the hotel with different breakout sessions and conversation areas. And I'm going to go over today what I hope will be a very informative episode that gives you a feel. Maybe you're new around here. Well, this is going to give you a feel. What kind of stuff do we talk about around here? What are we excited about? What's working? What is the concept behind all of these success stories that you're hearing on this podcast? If this is the first episode you've ever listened to, by the way, listen to 10 or 15 other episodes where I have a guest. Those are going to typically be interviews with students. 99% of the time, our guest episodes are interviews with students who are following the concepts that we teach and succeeding wildly. We have a few hundred of those at this point, recent podcast episodes. We've got about 1,400 of those tagged success stories in our Facebook group, which is free to join at silentjim.com. If you're interested, jump over there, join the Facebook group, see for yourself. But today, I'm going to bring up the schedule on the screen in front of me, which means I'm not going to be able to look you in the eye very much here and look at the camera, but I'm going to be looking at the schedule and just scroll through and describe some of these great sessions and speakers that we have lined up. I'm not going to hit the whole thing. Again, I'm not just going to read a boring list, but I'm going to tell you some of the concepts that we are super excited to share in this community, some of the cutting edge content, the concepts that we've come up with in this community as we see successful students doing new and creative things, and we approach them and ask them about their strategies and their techniques and how they're succeeding. Typically, there's going to be a new strategy emerge or a new nugget of information. Maybe it's a course, maybe it's just a podcast episode, but we bring you that content. And that's how we help our large community. There's a few 100,000 people on our mailing list stay very cutting edge when it comes to e-commerce and specifically selling on Amazon. So for an overview, what's this event all about? There's going to be about 500 of us there, like I said, plus speakers, et cetera, and other event workers and sponsors and things. It's going to be a good group this year for sure. And we're going to be breaking out into multiple different rooms, tackling different sessions, but it all revolves around outside of the non-tangibles, I should say. The non-tangibles are things like these friendships. I mean, this is like family to many of us. Very welcoming community for new people if you're brand new. We'd love to have you there if you're new. Theprovenconference.com, of course, has all the details. But outside of all those intangibles, the family reunion feel, the summer camp feel, staying up late, talking with friends in the lobby, all of that, that's some of the icing on the cake for so many of us, is just the connections. We also have cutting edge content on the topics of selling on Amazon and e-commerce in general. Now, keep in mind, we've done this, like I said, 10 times before, or this is our 10th, I should say. This is the most established Amazon seller community in the world. We've been doing it longer than anyone. We've been teaching Amazon success strategies through the Proven Amazon course longer than anyone that I'm aware of. And so many successful students have emerged from this community over the years. And when they do, we tap them to become leaders, coaches, content creators, that sort of thing, right? So that's who you're going to see on our stage, is people from this community who have built incredible businesses. We don't bring in a whole lot of outside speakers. We don't have to. We've got so many incredible stories to share and strategies to share from our own community. That's what we do. So if you can't make it, this is me saying, hey, you got to get the live stream. Really consider very strongly getting the live stream option. You can go to theprovenconference.com, click on live stream. It's priced ridiculously inexpensive compared to, we've got people flying in from all over the world this year. They're coming in from many different countries where the registration fee is only a tiny portion of what a lot of people are paying to be at this event this year. But you can stay in the comfort of your home and enjoy most of the sessions as they're happening. And you get instant recordings as well for these sessions. You get the full recordings once the event is over. But in most cases, as these things are happening, if you can't be there in person for the 3 days, August 12th through 14th, 2022, if you can't be there live, well, you can still experience the event very soon after by just sitting down that evening and watching it. They'll all be posted in a private area where you can easily access them, watch them again, and all attendees will get that thrown in with the registration. But if you get the live stream, you also get those professional recordings. We're paying tens of thousands of dollars for the audiovisual team that's going to run and the equipment that's going to be at this event. So let me tell you about some of the great topics we're going to hit this year. And maybe you'll make a last minute decision to join us. But I think what we're going to do in this episode today is convince you that you probably should seriously consider taking a look at that live stream option. Thousands of dollars of value of content for a few dollars. I think you need to take a look at it. So I'm just going to go through no particular order, kind of talk through. It's a 3-day event. Some of the sessions that we're excited about, I can't hit all of them in this episode, but some of the sessions and some of the panels, the types of discussions we're going to have. And if you're planning to come to the event, we will have this full schedule published shortly before the event happens, because inevitably, the reason we don't announce it in advance, who's speaking, what topics, what times, all of that, is because it changes inevitably. There's always someone who can't show, or the days get shifted around, or topic changes based on demand. But this is pretty close estimation to what you can expect. Okay, so on day one, after we've all gathered in the main room and we split up just a short time later, we've got sessions concerning, first, we're going to talk replens. We're going to hear a lot about replens. That's the Amazon seller strategy that we talk about constantly around here. Again, 99% of our episodes of this podcast, probably more like 95%, are successful students following the replen strategies that we teach. So you're going to hear us talk a lot about that because it's a global sensation. Our community has this, that's where the concept originated. We've perfected it, improved it over the years, multiple ways to find underserved listings on Amazon. That's going to be a theme in a lot of these sessions. So let's dive in. Hands-free replens is one of the first sessions, meaning, as you've heard on multiple recent podcast episodes, people who work a few hours a day in some cases, if that, never see or touch their inventory. They're shopping online. That inventory goes straight to a prep center. The prep center does all the taping and boxing and packing and sending it in with labels to Amazon. And as products sell, the account owner gets paid. They never have to see or touch a box. They can even pay someone else to do the research. We've got our Proven Replens VA program, for example. I'll stick a link in the show notes to that. Proven Replens VA, as in virtual assistant.com. You can hire someone that we've trained. You pay them $4 an hour, and you can hire them from us, and they work just for you and find inventory. So you've got someone finding the inventory. You can hire someone else, maybe a virtual assistant, to buy the inventory. There's not a lot left for you to do if it's all shipping to a prep center. You're just monitoring the numbers, monitoring the process, right? So that's one of the first sessions we've got. And then the guy who runs that program for us, he's going to be in a panel talking about the Proven Replens VA program, answering questions there. We've got another great coach on our team, Brian and Robin Olson. They're kind of a coaching couple. They're going to be talking about multiple replen sourcing strategies. I think they've got 5, 6, 7 different unique strategies that they use to find great underserved ASINs. So far in just these first 3 sessions, I'm talking about, of course, the first one was Leah Modlin and Jessica Decker. They're their hands-free replen expert. We got Kyle Curtis talking about Amazon Replens Basics. That's the panel that he's going to be running and talking about virtual assistants as well. And then we've got Brian and Robin Olson. We've got Dahlia on our team, Ursulescu. She's going to be talking about private label, how to find great private label deals, multiple streams of income, kind of an advanced topic. We don't like to start new sellers out talking about private label until you're selling $10, $20, or even $30,000 a month or so. on Amazon, you shouldn't even be thinking or considering launching a private label product on Amazon. You've heard us talk about that many times before. We just heard far too many disaster stories. Your odds of success are so slim if you're not waiting until you're positioned well to jump into private label. So we've also got some newbie panels that we're going to do. I think I'm doing that one the first day. Excuse me, getting a drink of water. So if you're brand new to the community and you're not sure what you've gotten yourself into here, I'm going to have a session where I'm just hanging out with all the new folks, welcoming them into the community and hanging out that day. I think that one will be live stream broadcast too. We're not sure yet. Everything else I've mentioned so far will be. And then we've got a Replens dashboard demonstration. That's the software that Jimmy Smith and Carl Jacoby have developed and they manage, and along with their team, and they're doing a great job developing a unique software tool that helps Replens sellers know when it's time to go buy more inventory, which inventory to buy, how deep to go on each of your popular ASINs. So that's all just the first session of day one. Those sessions all happen simultaneously. Most of them are live streamed. They're all going to be recorded for you. So if you purchase live stream access, you get all those recordings pretty quickly at real time in many cases. So the next session, a little break in between, of course, everybody changes rooms. Now we got a bunch more sections. We've got Jimmy Smith coming back and talking about scaling your Amazon business, how to go from 0 to 10,000, 10,000 to 30, 30 to 50. What do those steps look like? What are the standard operating procedures you're going to need? It's an hour-long session, each of these, and he's always done such a tremendous job with that topic. So we're going to keep him hopping. He's always a busy guy at these events. Oscar Matumbo, one of the favorite podcast guests that we've ever had, just such an inspirational story. He's going to have a session. It's just going to be a Q&A time with him. He's a guy who jumped in very quickly, built a $30,000 a month business rapidly. Pretty soon he was quitting his job. His wife quit her job. He's running a multiple seven-figure business from home, just he and his wife, using a few basic tools and a whole lot of hustle with the Replens model. He's got an exciting future. He's built a beautiful business. So it's a session with him. After that, we've got my son, Trey. He's going to have a session. He's built an amazing consulting business, which is kind of like a separate entity altogether. It has nothing to do with Amazon, but it just demonstrates the power of taking what you know and teaching others how to deploy the ideas that you know work because you've used them yourself, and the potential that's there behind having a consulting agency, social media marketing agency. It's a huge model with a lot of opportunity. And he's built a robust business. He's going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about funding as well in a breakout session. How do I scale my business rapidly without taking unnecessary risks? Do I have to use my own money? Is there some creative funding options out there? And we've got some great sponsors who will be at the event, including AccrueMe and Seven Figure Funding, two incredible companies that have worked very closely with many people in our community. And they're going to have a session along with some other leaders on our team. So then the third session, the third series of sessions, I should say, on day one is all about, the first session in that series will be creating your own Replens using the provenbrandbuilding.com strategy. That provenbrandbuilding.com strategy is one of the modules inside our comprehensive collection of Amazon trainings located at Proven Amazon course. So stated clearly, if you get Proven Amazon course, you get everything. Our past live events are in there, for example. All the modules we've ever created that have anything to do with selling on Amazon, it's all in there. When we create brand new content, sometimes there's a delay before it's added. Sometimes that delay can be 6 or 9 months because we're serving the people who are eager to pay the experts who are guiding the live experience, for example. But then after it's captured, that content then goes into the Proven Amazon course. One of those modules is Proven Brand Building. What is that? Well, Proven Brand Building is when you take everyday common brands that you'd recognize, stuff that you could probably go pull off of a local store shelf right now and stuff that's probably in your pantry, but you bundle it together in a unique way and you put it in your own branded box. You add some unique value, perhaps a refrigerator magnet or some other creative add-on, and now you've got a unique bundle that no one else can sell. And you can sell it on Amazon under your brand. So you've got a branded listing. It's all the benefits of private label brands without any of the legal risks. It's a pretty cool model. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking a little bit more about Replen sourcing strategies, how to hire and grow your team. Should you use contract workers or should you use virtual assistants? That sort of thing. So we've got a session on that. We've got a session talking about forming a mastermind. If you want to be part of a mastermind group of people who hang out on a regular basis and help each other grow businesses, how to organically form a mastermind. It's going to be a fun session. I'm actually helping lead that along with Adam Wilson. He's a guy who's benefited greatly from growing a beautiful mastermind. And a lot of the guests you've heard on our podcast lately have been part of a mastermind, many of them part of Adam's mastermind. It's a group that hangs out regularly together, and they've really helped spur each other on to tremendous success. So we're going to dive into how you can have something like that. My wife is going to do a session, and it's never recorded, it's never live streamed, because she wants to be very transparent and authentic in front of the folks that are there and ask the questions. A lot of times it's a lot of the spouses of entrepreneurs who have interesting questions and a lot in common, and learning how to deal with those crazy entrepreneurs that they live with. It's always a great session, very highly rated. She always does a tremendous job, and people want to go back for more. So we always do her session a couple times. It fills up. She does a good job with it. So after that, we have wrapped up day one. Once you look at all the breaks and the lunch, and we have a long lunch, that's day one. So what else happened on day two? Well, on day two, we're going to repeat some of the sessions that were kind of crammed on top of each other that people missed from day one. So I won't repeat any of those. So it's going to feel like it's a thinner thing on day two, but it's a lot of the day one sessions are repeated on day two, or they're repeated on day three. So we're going to talk on, this would be Saturday, August 13th, which would be day two of the event. We're going to kick it off after our big meeting in the main room, and we go through some important content and great presentations there. We're going to break up into separate rooms and start talking about how to grow an audience is one of the sessions with Jenny and Ryan Rieger. Jenny Hunt and Ryan Rieger are going to talk about that, how to expand and grow an audience. We're going to be talking more about private label strategies with Dalia and Jonathan Bricker. Dalia Ursulescu and Jonathan Bricker will be heading that up. We're going to have in the next set of sessions some topics on wholesale, how to apply the Replen strategies to a wholesale business model. That's going to be, of course, be Rich Potter. He's the guy who created our proven wholesale sourcing.com is the website. And actually that content has just been added into the Proven Amazon course. If you go into the Proven Amazon course, we've just recently in the last few days added in that full course. Other people paid a lot of money for it. Some people have paid $10,000 to go to Phoenix and hang out at Rich Potter's headquarters, see his warehouse, get that training. Now, I still highly encourage you, if you want to hang in a small group of people who really get their hands held, that's something you can call our coaching office and set up. It's a 3-4 day experience where you meet Rich, meet his team, see his business, multiple 7-figure operation using wholesale Replen strategies. Well, he's going to present on that topic. But if you want to go to Phoenix and do it live, it's a tremendous opportunity to hang in a small group, like I said, with his whole team and meet them. But he presents on that day. We're repeating a couple of our sessions here. Then we've got a great legal panel. We've got Jeff Schick. He's one of the sponsors of our event, also a very noted expert at helping with legal issues, IP complaints, those kinds of things. I was talking with him just a few days ago, and I said, correct me if I'm wrong. You've done a lot of this for a while now. What are the odds of getting your account back if you get suspended over some oops type of moment? Like, oh, shouldn't have been selling that. Okay, I'll stop selling at Amazon. I'm sorry. Let's say you're temporarily suspended, which doesn't happen that often, but it does happen. He's saying way above a 95%, more like 99%. He's worked with many, 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 many clients. Everybody gets their account back eventually. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time, unless you were doing something really stupid and illegal, like selling fake Nike Apple watches that you bought from China for $1 each or something. Like you try to do that, yeah, you're probably not coming back. But all these other little oops moments, oh, I thought I could sell it, turns out I can't, those kinds of things, if those stack up on you and Amazon ends up temporarily freezing your account, a good guy like Jeff can help get it back, Jeff Schick. So after that, let's see what else we've got here. We're going to talk more about how to create your own Replen listings. This is more of the kind of the proven branded provenbrandbuilding.com types of concepts, how to create your own replens that no one else can compete with, a little bit more of that topic. We've got how to lead a diversified workforce. This is going to be with Abe McMahon, how to lead a diverse business. If you've got workers over here and shoppers over there, and Abe actually has people shopping all over the United States for him, people spread out all over the country working on his business, benefiting and kind of profit sharing. So it's a very diversified approach to doing the replens model where you include friends and family and people all over the country. It's a beautiful model, and it's his ministry. It's his people, it's his team, and it's just grown very organically, and he's added people in. So some people don't even have their own Amazon account. They just sell on his account, but they get the benefit of getting a percent of the profits of the items they find. And he's training them on the latest techniques. It's a pretty cool model. He's going to break that down for us. Then we've got another legal/IP expert named Scott Margulies, who's going to be there as well. He's been a friend of this community for a very long time. If you get into a jam, have an IP question or an account health question, just a really good guy, connected, knows his stuff. He can help you write up a plan of action. Actually has a book on that title. When Amazon says, hey, we're going to need a plan of action from you because we're a little nervous about what you're doing here. Are you going to take corrective action? And well, Scott has a book, How to Write Those Plans of Action, so that you clearly communicate succinctly to Amazon what it is they need to know, and you correct your actions and you proceed forward with full confidence. He's got a book on Amazon called Plans of Action, or I think that's the title of it, Scott Margulies. You can find his picture on our website at theprovenconference.com, and you can look for his book that way. Then we've got a fun session. We're going to do some Amazon trivia, a little break in the middle of the day with Jenny Hunt. That's going to be a fun session. We've got Allison Hamilton, Morgan, and Aaron Cruz who are going to be talking about using cash back apps and rebates to help maximize your margins while also doing some pretty cool things. You can, accumulate points and support causes you believe in just by shopping, buying inventory. A fun session, always an entertaining and interesting conversation with those two. So you're going to jump now to Sunday. Of course, we've got Thursday evening plans and dinners and things. Or sorry, that would be a Saturday evening. Day 2 is Saturday, the 13th, right, of August. All kinds of plans, all kinds of things happening that day. Then we start off Sunday with a good friend of mine, everyone gathered in the big room. Since it's a Sunday, we're going to actually have a non-denominational service to kick off day 3, Sunday. It's going to be great. We're going to have music, and we're going to have a speaker. It's a good friend of mine named Kevin. Kevin Ramsby is his name. He's actually holds a record in the city of Detroit for having survived one of the most brutal attacks in city history, which isn't a record I suggest you try to beat. He had a really, really rough time recovering from this. And like I said, he's been a good friend of, he and his wife have been good friends of Andrea and I, my wife, for a very, very long time, well before the attack happened. So this community's kind of been part of supporting them as they've launched this ministry that's all about, get this, forgiveness. So he has an entire ministry dedicated to educating people and helping them the power of forgiveness. Determining who it is in your life that you need to forgive. A lot of us have somebody we've never forgiven, and how toxic and damaging that can be. And if he can forgive his attacker, he actually corresponds with this guy. This guy's now doing life in prison, but he corresponds regularly with this guy. They've built a friendship. Isn't that cool? He's going to tell that story, share it with us, and talk about this ministry that he's launched. That's Sunday morning. Good way to start off a Sunday, right? Some encouragement. And then we get into some more of our sessions. So after we've done that, we're going to hear from Larry and Sue Pruitt talking about what it's like to transition from having real jobs to having e-commerce work from home jobs. A lot of people in our community have made that transition. Larry and Sue Pruitt are 2 great leaders in our community who are on our team, and they have helped many people through that stage. I remember I kind of helped them through that stage many, many years ago. And now they've helped many others go through that same thing, going from having real jobs and the stability, the income, the monthly paycheck or the weekly paycheck to running a business. And how do you do it? How do you work from home and manage all those moving parts? So that's going to be a great session. We've got Jenny Hunt coming on stage again and another breakout session talking about the power of KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing, how easy it can be to get a book out there, even some of these low content books and that sort of thing. She's always entertaining and always informative on that topic. We've got Amy Stover talking about what it's like, the real world of having a replens business. What are some of those things that no one's talking about? Maybe some of the realities of having a replens business. She's one of the coaches on our team, always does a great job as well, always a fan favorite. Then we've got a ladies only session. Now, I'm not sure what we'll do. We'll probably capture this and live stream it, but it's going to be more pertinent just for the ladies. And we've got a panel put together of Lisa Larson. That's Lisa Live in our Facebook group every Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern. It's 4 p.m. on the West Coast for those in the Pacific time zone. Right around then, Lisa goes live every week, and she's become quite a fan favorite around here. She's going to be on a panel along with Sue Pruitt, Honey Woods, and again, Jenny Hunt, talking about the issues that women deal with when running business. There's some very unique, just encouraging the way they can encourage each other hanging out. It's a ladies only thing, and you're asking a guy to describe it. I don't know what they're going to do exactly, but it's going to be an awesome session just because of who we're putting on stage. It's going to be a beautiful time. And then we've also got Jimmy Smith and I doing a session that we're titling Biblical Business Principles. It's a panel discussion. So if you're watching the live stream, you can interact with us and ask us some questions. And we're going to dive into some topics that Jimmy and I are both very passionate about. Jimmy Smith, of course, being the guy who kind of created the replens module for us in the Proven Amazon course and just really broke it down into step-by-step, easily managed, bite-sized pieces that has helped literally thousands of people at this point launch and grow incredible businesses. But he's also passionate about applying biblical principles to business concepts, which is the foundation of everything we do around here. And to the degree that we're successful, it's because we've integrated those concepts. Regardless of your worldview, you're going to benefit from this session. There's some really good advice in there. We may have a few other sessions as well that I haven't mentioned, and some sessions will repeat. So if you miss one, you can catch it later. But as a general overview, that's a pretty good chunk of what we're going to have going on. And as you can see, that was a lot of sessions. That's not even covering the topics that we'll be hitting from the main stage. Some really good surprises for the live attendees there. But that's quite an event. So if you want to get your hands on all that for a few dollars, I suggest you grab the live stream. Or if you can still juggle your schedule around and join us live in Louisville, Kentucky, August 12th through 14th, 2022, we've got a great hotel, beautiful hotel at a great discounted room rate. And there's hundreds and hundreds of us that are going to be there. It's going to be 500 plus people gathered who are doing life and business, specifically e-commerce, more specifically building Amazon businesses together. We'd really love to have you there. So hopefully you found this episode useful. If you can't make it and you don't plan on buying the live stream and you were listening today, hey, at least now you've got a bit of an overview of what this community is all about, the kind of topics that we hit, some of the leaders, some of the names that you maybe heard. These have, to my knowledge, I think everyone I mentioned today has at one point in time been a podcast guest on this episode, which means they're running a successful Amazon selling business of their own. And they're one of the leaders in our community. There's over 100 of us. Did you know that? There's over 100 people on our leadership team between the coaches, the admins, the moderators, the content creators. And none of us really, with the exception of myself and maybe a few others, work full time at this. Everyone else is busy running their own businesses, and they pitch in as a side gig, helping this community continue to thrive and grow. That's the team. And on behalf of all those folks, I tell you this. I mean, I've never met before, but I can tell you with confidence, if you like this podcast, you're going to absolutely love this event, even if you're not really plugged in yet. A lot of new faces will be there. You won't be alone. We're not going to call you out or embarrass you. We're not going to force you to get on stage if you don't want to, but we will have a great time together, learning and growing, building relationships. And we'd love to have you as part of it. So please plan to join us, if at all possible. Be there August 12th through 14th. Louisville, Kentucky. And if you have any questions, you can always go to silentjim.com. You can jump on to the support tab and send us a note, or my personal email address is jimcockrum@gmail.com. If you send us an email, if you send an email to me personally, I will read it. I may not be the one that responds. Sometimes I forward it to the right person on our team, but I've committed to reading all the email that we get. And it's not like piles and piles, but I spend a good portion of my day, probably a couple hours every day, responding to email from folks in this community. And I love doing it. If I can be of service, I certainly want to do so. So God bless you, business building warrior. It has certainly been a pleasure hanging out with you. Bit of an unusual episode today, but I think especially those who are attending or those who are considering buying live stream for our event are going to really benefit. For everyone else, hey, we'll be back to our normal format soon enough. The next episode is going to be a great interview with a great guest who's succeeding wildly, building a great business online. And we'll bring you the whole story, just like you've come to expect. As I'm sitting here right now, we have 5 great interviews lined up, booked with great guests, successful coaching students, proven Amazon course students, and we have 4 or 5 that we've already recorded that we're editing and getting ready for production. That's kind of the rolling model around here as we do these interviews and then roll them out to you. In some cases, it's been people that we talked to a week or two ago, but we're rolling them out constantly for you because I think that's a great format. And I hope you agree for a podcast is to teach, yes, but also prove that it works by introducing you to dozens and dozens of recent examples of people that are doing the stuff that you teach and showing that it definitely does work for real people. That's the format of this show. Hopefully you're enjoying it. The numbers sure tell us that you are. We've been hitting about 100,000 listeners per month on just iTunes. Yet in the YouTube and all the other podcast platforms that we're appearing on. And we got some real numbers here going of people that benefit from this show. So thank you for being a part of it. Thank you for spreading the word. That's our entire marketing budget is you telling your friends. We don't pay any money to market this show. So thank you for spreading the word and helping it grow. It's the only reason we continue to do well in the podcast ranking charts. It's because of you and your efforts. So thank you for that. Hey, if we can be of service, you know how to get a hold of us. Go to silentjim.com. You can get a link to our coaching program. You can get a link to the Proven Amazon course, which is where you need to start if you want to start to be a part of this community and grow an Amazon business. Get a link to support. Anything that you need, we're there. Our Facebook group, 70,000 members. We're here to help. silentjim.com is a good place to go to start. Can't wait to do another episode again for you real soon. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Talk to you then.